moderator,
Clubhouse
and
T.
I didn't see the celebrity raise their hand. Like, you literally pressed for them to come up and be a speaker, and they're like, let me be nice and personable, and then like you just do this whole big Sway's morning show intro, and just all this brown nosing, and like you
Actually,
go
you know
off topic.
what? You know what? I'm guilty of that. And it wasn't off
I was
topic.
gonna
It was
say it happens. It happens.
yeah. It wasn't off topic. It was on topic. I think G was in this room. We were talking about a situation we had with the racist and Rachel Cargill, who's known for her social justice work. She stumbled in the room, and I'm like, oh no, she needs to come up here. And she came and she talked and she
Clubhouse
contributed,
T.
and she was really sweet.
It's
But
not you super brown nosing once they're up here. Like, it's an
That was
honor and a
on
privilege,
brand.
and like, it sometimes they'll literally take a whole 2 minutes, like, brown nosing.
yeah, I didn't do all
Exactly.
that, but I did
Like the
give her
excessive,
roses.
excessive praising, like that excessive
Yes,
praising. Yeah, I
yes.
feel you. It's yeah,
They just want to feel normal.
I
it's
have a
true.
Very true.
question.
I just left a room where Ava DuVernay got on stage, and like the whole room shifted to an Ava
Right.
Q&A. And I felt so bad for the moderator because it's like, yeah, you have all her audience who came to the room to see it, but like you had a really cool room going, and now nobody cares, and you're just sitting there
Yeah,
on mute.
Mm-hmm.
took over her
That
whole damn
happens when
room.
whenever Ava has a room that happens, and she'll move herself to the audience because she'll say like, "I'm just here to
Clubhouse
listen. Like,
T.
I'm not trying to be a part of the conversation," because she knows that as soon as she gets on the stage, people are gonna be like, "Oh, Ava, you're such an inspiration. I love you. Let me just tell you." So she'll be in the audience, and she's in tons of rooms where she just sitting in the audience like, "I'm not here to speak. I'm just here."
I
You
was
know
gonna
what
say there's a
else?
few people that do that. Kalani does that a lot too. Kalani will
Yo,
pop up in certain
India.
rooms
Kalani's in
and
here.
all
Wow.
the time, and she'll just sit there for a minute. Karen Silva does it too and say nothing. So there's a lot of people in here that just be sitting, just watching and just listening too. So that's why when I see people get all crazy, I'm like, you don't know who is in this room.
But
Like,
you
you
know
gotta chill
what?
the hell out.
Joe Budden, and Isaac Hayes are very intentional about going in rooms with small creatives that have topics they like and sitting there on mute
Clubhouse
just to make
T.
sure their followers come in. And they've talked about it offline. Like they're very intentional about bringing attention to certain rooms, and like they'll intentionally, not raise their hand, like they don't want to speak. They just want to make sure that what you're saying is getting heard. And I respect that. I think that's a really cool way.
Punch does that too.
Yeah,
That's dope as fuck.
Yeah,
it's
Punch
a really
does.
cool way for creatives to get, traffic and engagement to their rooms, because at the end of the day, like a lot of us on here have the intention to use this for business, or to use this for networking, or to use this to further our clients' brands, but depending on our respective fields, right? And so you kind of have to get creative until you build your following up with how you get people to your room and your space.
Hey, you
Keith,
know
did
what
you
the
have a
thing is? I
question?
feel like we got like a
Oh,
dope
sorry. Go
ass
ahead,
opportunity being
Tima.
on here though. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like this like the tipping point. You know what I'm saying? If you can get on here and capitalize now, you're gonna be at the top of the game.
I agree. I feel like at this point, Clubhouse owes me a check because moderation is work. And I don't know if people realize that.
Oh
It's
yeah,
so
for
much
sure.
You,
work.
As a
100%.
matter of fact,
I
Icy,
be
check your DM.
exhausted.
you
Clubhouse
said check my
T.
DM?
Yep, game is
Oh,
on.
okay.
Yep, I'm laying here with the wifey, so I'm gonna hop off, man. Appreciate y'all, love y'all. And y'all be easy, man. I look to connect with y'all, man. Hit that follow button. Y'all already know the game.
Absolutely. Nice to
Have
meet
a
you,
good night,
Timothy.
Timar.
All right, peace. Rachel, hold it down
Good
for the
night.
Midwest. 314, hold it down.
Ah, POP, hold me
Okay.
down.
Hold it down.
Is it Moalu? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yo, it's Malu. Yeah, I just had a quick question. I'll jump back in the audience. Kind of based off what y'all were going off. That's cool.
You sound kind of far
Yeah, well, you sound
away.
kind of muffled. Are you holding your headphones?
Can you hear me now?
Perfect.
Yeah, my bad. I just got a quick question, kind of going off the dialogue, if that's all right.
Of course.
Dope. Just what y'all were saying about like celebrities jumping in your rooms and shit like that. I've had a couple rooms, nothing too crazy popped off, but like a couple times, I guess, quote unquote, celebrities have popped in, and just
Clubhouse
like what
T.
y'all are saying about them maybe just wanting to kind of kick it in the audience. Like, do you think if a bigger name person or somebody that's kind of relevant to what you're speaking on jumps in the room, should you wait until they raise their hand, or is it like, because I guess the thing with me is like you want to not like not maybe I don't know. I wouldn't want them to leave because
So
they
what
thought
I
you were like assuming. I
what
don't
what I
know.
would do, not to
I
cut
would
you off,
offer it.
yeah, offer it. So pose it as a suggestion, give them the space, and preface it with that. So let's just use Joe. Like, so hey, I see Joe Budden in the audience. This is no pressure to come on stage, but if at any point you want to raise your hand, feel free. And thank you for being here. So just more
See,
so like I see you, thank
I
you, no
I'm sorry,
pressure.
AC. I don't want to interrupt you. Well, I'm interrupting you. Duh. So I know
Clubhouse
that Joe
tea.
doesn't really like that because he's been in several of my rooms. So what I do is I let him sit there for like a few minutes, and then I'll invite him. And if he wants to come, he'll accept it, and if he doesn't, he'll just keep sitting there.
And I think that's something that I've done as well. I'll see someone in the audience who does have, somewhat of a bigger name. And I don't want to call too much attention to them because a lot of them just don't like that. They're super humble, and that's really admirable. So I'll call out, hey,
Clubhouse
there's
tea.
someone in the audience I'd like to bring up. I'm going to invite you up. If you don't come up, I understand. And I leave it at that. I don't, I don't name any
Clubhouse
names
tea.
because I don't want them to be looked at in any type of way if they decide not to come up. So I
I
think that's
like that
something that you
I
better.
can
like
do as
that.
No,
I
well.
like
Yeah,
that a
that's
I
lot.
good.
That's
appreciate
really
that.
I
nice.
And
love
real
that.
quick,
Yeah.
Devin, if I may ask a follow up, do you feel like the dialogue or like the direction of the conversation sometimes gets lost if then all of a sudden the people talking on stage, especially if there's hella people, are like, oh shit, now they're just chilling in there and kind of where we were going. How do you
Absolutely.
feel like
You
that
you do
goes?
want to be mindful of the number of people that are on stage, and mindful of who is
Clubhouse
contributing to the
tea.
conversation and who's not. I'll be honest, this app is very addictive and addicting, and it's like a lot of people fall asleep on this app. They'll be on this stage and they'll be asleep. So every now and then in my rooms, I'll do a check-in and say, hey, flash your mics if you're still awake. If they're not, I move them to the audience. And then, of course, as a moderator, you're paying attention to who's saying what and what's being said. So you just take those liberties as far as moving people to the audience, as far as, in relation to where you want the conversation to go. So I would say definitely be mindful of the number of people on stage so that you do um, remain in control of the conversation.
Word, I appreciate it. Icy Bunny, free. Much gratitude, everybody. I'm gonna slide back down to the audience.
Thanks for coming
Clubhouse
Okay.
up.
tea.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Molly.
Also another thing, have you noticed that some people who moderate like try to lecture other speakers about things? I've been lectured by a moderator and I had to chin check the hell out of them because I don't look, let me
Yo,
tell
that's
you
a new one.
something.
I might have to
Let,
steal that, Bunny.
no, let me tell you something. My opinion and my experience will not be invalidated because you feel triggered for
Clubhouse tea.
whatever. Let me tell you something. You asked me about my experience. I told you maybe you're on the other end of my experience, but let's unpack that. Okay. And some things we can't unpack that maybe a therapist needs to unpack. So if things is getting you a little bit too
Clubhouse
hot
tea.
and bothered because of I'm explaining my experience and it's triggering you, you need to log off and go to betterhelp.com and go talk to a therapist.